What is going on, guys? My name is Aaron, and this is the Game Day Hour. Welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we are really going different. Last week, we did the NBA Finals between the Mavericks and the Celtics. This time around, we're going outside of the United States, and we're looking at the UEFA Euros for 2024 being hosted in Germany this year. Now, I'm not much of a soccer guru or a football guru, depending on where you're from. But my thing is, I want to be able to cover international soccer because international soccer is something that actually interests me. Club, not so much, but international, definitely. So this week we're going to be doing the UEFA Euros, and next week we're going to be doing Copa America. So I hope you guys are excited. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to go through each and every single group and who I think is going to be ranking where and all the matchups. I'm going to actually be starting with my projected round of 16. Now, in order for me to do this, I had to go on a website. I had to kind of do the UEFA Euro prediction simulator. So all these matchups that you're about to see were simulated based on my opinion and who I thought was going to be ranked where. So we're going to go through each and every matchup from the round of 16s to the championship game, which should be roughly 15 matchups. So, without further ado, let's get on with the first matchup and let's predict the UEFA Euros being hosted by Germany this year. I have my phone on standby to look at rankings and other stuff, but the first matchup is the host nation Germany against Denmark. Now, these are two very good nations. I mean, Germany, without question, has been one of the greatest nations since soccer has hosted the FIFA World Cup back in 1930. They are a four-time FIFA World Cup champion. But of recent years, ever since their 2014 championship in Brazil, they've looked, to say the least, underwhelming. I mean, they've got bounced out of the first round in both 2018 and 2022 Qatar, and when they placed the Euros, they lost to England 2-0 in the round of 16s. So they are a team that does not look that great, but we all know that a sleeping giant isn't going to be sleeping forever. Eventually, Germany is going to get back to where it once was, and I think this is the start. They have some new guys coming in. They still got some veterans. So for me, Germany is hosting Denmark. I mean, Denmark is ranked 21st in the world FIFA-wise, and Germany 16th. This one to me is a no-brainer still. I'm going to take Germany to win 2-0. Now, I do think that Germany's offense is going to be kind of stagnated to begin, but they are the host nation, so they do have that advantage. And the first playoff game, I mean, all eyes on them. They need to do well, and this is the time they need to do it before the 2026 World Cup. So if there's any time to get going, it's now for Germany. So 2-0 over Denmark. Germany moves on to the round of 8s. Next up, we have Scotland versus Spain. Now, this is a little bit weird. They're both, in my opinion, the second to go in their groups. I think Scotland goes behind Germany, and I think Spain is going to be second in their group. But when I look at this kind of matchup, as good as Scotland is, and when I take a look, they're 39th ranked, which in the grand scheme of Europe is not really a great thing, but still, there's so many nations in the world, and being ranked 39th is huge, especially for this next World Cup, which could be holding around 48 teams. 39th is not a bad spot, but you also have to realize, in Europe standards, they're playing against Spain, who is ranked number 8. It is a lopsided matchup, and I think it's going to play out that way. I have Spain beating Scotland 3-0. I think that's going to not be close. I mean, Spain has so many weapons, and they're one of those teams that are getting hotter as the years are going by. And there's another team on this list that I will talk about in just a second, who I think is a team that is on the rise. So Spain and Germany are both going to move on, which is funny because they were both in the same group during the World Cup in 2022, so that's fun. But yeah, Spain moves on to the quarterfinals. Next up, we have Italy and Poland. Now, Italy is one of those giants or titans like Germany throughout the years, but they have not seen the World Cup since 2014. Forget Germany making it the last two times, getting bounced in the first round. Literally, Italy has not made it to the World Cup since the Brazil days, and which is weird. I mean, they're one of the best nations. They're still ranked super high. So, if anything, this is something they need. Now, they did win the 2020 Euros, even though it was hosted in 2021. It's still the 2020 Euros. They did win it over England in the championship, but then lost to North Macedonia and were kicked out of qualifiers for the World Cup. So Italy has not seen better days. But they are ranked ninth in the world. And I do think they will win the division with Spain and Croatia. And I mean, despite Poland having an extremely talented player like Lewandowski, they are ranked 28th among all nations in the world. And Italy is top 10. I mean, this one seems more like a team versus a single player effort. Therefore, give me Italy to win 4-2. I think that Italy is going to get out of this first round easy peasy. But again, this is Europe. It is not going to be easy from here on out. But Italy needs to make some statement. They got to get to the World Cup. I mean, you can't miss 3 World Cups in a row, being a 4-time champion yourself. Next up, we have England versus Ukraine. Now, again, with these round of 16s, they're very lopsided, and Ukraine is a good soccer nation. They're ranked 22nd in the world, which is very impressive. But we have to be a little honest here. England is a superpower of a football team, and they were one of my favorites going into the Euros for 2020. I had them winning it all then, and they got to the championship game to lose to Italy. And I had them winning the World Cup. They lost to France. And again, I'm thinking of England as such a super team. It's hard to pick against them, and they have such a strong front four with Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Saka, and Rashford. I mean, one super veteran with 3 extremely talented stars right behind. So, if anything, I'm looking for a high offensive performance in this game against Ukraine. Give me England to win 5-1. It's going to be extremely lopsided because England can get on those bouts where they're just scoring non-stop. They did it during the World Cup in 2018 in Russia, and they did it in their first game against Iran in the Qatar World Cup. So England's powerful, and they're going to get even more powerful as the years go on. So give me England to beat Ukraine. The next matchup is going to be between Portugal and Croatia. Now, Portugal as a nation of soccer is good, but obviously they're enhanced by Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players of all time, and they got some young guys coming up. And as for Croatia, I mean, they saw themselves in the last 2 World Cups. They got to the World Cup Championship to lose to France in 2018, but star player Luka Modric, I believe his name is, I think he's on his way out, if he's not already on his way out. I need to check these rosters better. But Croatia is still a very talented team, though they are going to be in a really tough division with Italy and Spain. So that's a tough one. But Portugal is ranked 6th in the world. Croatia is top 10 at number 10. This is going to be one of the tougher, closer matchups. But with Ronaldo still on the roster from last I've seen for Portugal and that young lineup around him, give me Portugal in a really close 3-2 matchup. I think they will move on to the quarterfinals, but it's not going to be easy. Croatia is a tough opponent. So good luck to both teams, obviously, but I'm just going to give Portugal the slightest of edges. In the next matchup, we have the Netherlands versus Romania. Now, Romania is one of my wild card picks, but the Netherlands goes without saying. They're 7th in the world. As for Romania, I mean, they're 46th. They're a very low country, but at the same time, I've seen success from Romania before, and I feel like there's just going to be one of those teams that get the nod at the 3rd seed, because there are some 3rd seeds that get through and make the round of 16s, and I think they'll be one of them, but this is where the buck stops for them, though, because the Netherlands is powerful. They have some of the best players. A lot of their players are top 20, at least like 3 of them, which is insane. So Netherlands, I have them winning 2-1. I mean, I can't see them losing this matchup. Romania, though, you'll have your nice run, but it's going to come to an end, sorry. It is what it is. Next up, we have Belgium versus Switzerland. Now, as I'm looking at these rankings, I noticed that Belgium is 3rd ranked among all the nations in the world. That's 2nd in Europe. And Switzerland is also nicely ranked in the top 20 at number 19. But when I was looking over some of the players within this matchup, Belgium just has a lot of stars. Again, Similar to the Netherlands, they have a lot of players within like the top 30, top 20. So they are a team not to be trifled with. And I think Switzerland met its match. I know they're 19th ranked, but I don't see them winning this. Belgium has this one for sure, 4-1. And so I see Belgium moving on, and it's just going to be tougher for them here on out because Belgium is going to have to play the winner between France and Turkey. Now, Turkey, I mean, 40th ranked in the nation. That's nothing. But France is second in the world behind, I believe it's Argentina, who's ranked number 1. But they're the best in Europe ranked overall. I mean, you got Kylian Mbappe. You have so many good stars. Against France has that same situation as Belgium and the Netherlands, which is so many stars within the top 20. Kylian Mbappe is the number 1 player ranked in FIFA among all nations in the world. So this is a no-brainer. I mean, Turkey barely edges it out, and France wins convincingly. It's 4-0 for France in this matchup. And France will ultimately play Belgium, but we'll get to that in a bit, which means that the top 2 teams in Europe will battle it out. Now we're moving on to the quarterfinals, and the first one is between host nation Germany and Italy. Talk about a matchup of titans. I mean, these two nations are second, or tied second, behind Brazil, the most World Cups since the FIFA World Cup started back in 1930. They both have 4. And like I said Germany is a team that I don't think will stay asleep for much longer. And Italy, they really need this one. So there's a high stake in this kind of matchup when qualifying for the US, Mexico, Canada World Cup, or the North America World Cup, if you want to call it that. I think, though, that despite Italy needing this, they need it big. I just don't see Germany staying asleep for much longer. So it's going to be a bloody battle, but give me Germany to win 3-2 over Italy. Now, it seems a little unconventional. Italy is ranked 9th in the world. Germany is ranked 16th, but that's not swaying me enough. I still think that Italy has times of just questionable play. While I think that while Germany's been asleep for a little bit, they will wake up. And this is going to be that matchup where you're going to notice that Germany is back. So Germany needs this one just as much as Italy does. Give me Germany 3-2. The next matchup is between Portugal and Netherlands, which is crazy. They're so close to each other. Portugal is 6th in the world, and Netherlands is 7th. It's superstars versus young star talents in Netherlands. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo is still one of the best players in the world, even though he's ranked 94th, I believe, in FIFA, which is insane to me. I know he's getting older, but he's still extremely talented. So this one, again, is an extremely, extremely tough matchup. But I think, and I'm going to probably be very wrong about this, but give me Portugal to win 2-1. A very close matchup, but give me Portugal to win this. I just think that Ronaldo still has just a little bit of talent left in him. I know he's getting way up there in age, but the Netherlands, they're knocking on the door to becoming extremely powerful with this young lineup. But I think you're going to really see the Netherlands shine when the World Cup comes around, because there's no way they're not making the World Cup. They're definitely going to make it. Expect them in it. And when they're in it, they're going to be really tough. But I think this is Portugal's last hurrah, because I don't think they'll be as successful when the World Cup comes around. So yeah, Portugal moves on to play Germany in the semifinals. Let's go check out the last two before we get on to the semis. Next up, we have Belgium versus France. Woo! The second-ranked nation in the world and the third-ranked nation in the world, with many players in the top 20. This is going to be probably the best matchup before the championship game. Without a question, I mean, these two teams are going to be powerhouses. But in recent history, it's favored France for the most part, and I think that history is still going to continue. France still has so many pieces left from 2018 and 2022. It feels inevitable that they're going to continue their reign. I think this is just the generation where France is going to be that team everybody talks about. I know Argentina had their reign. People want to continue to talk about Brazil, and I've been talking about England for a little bit, but France is still that team. I think they're going to win this matchup. A tough one, though. 4-3. I think Belgium It's close, but still missing the mark, and I think that France is going to move on to play the winner between, and this is another matchup that has me all sorts of excited, England versus Spain. Two nations with just one World Cup, but a lot of talent with them. And so when I look at this matchup, I'm thinking to myself, I mean, this is one that I find super interesting because these are two teams I praise heavily with their lineups nowadays, and especially England. You already know how I feel about that front four. And I think that front four is going to be too much for Spain to handle. I think that England is just a more complete team. Give me England to win 2-1 to go play France in the semifinals. I mean, Spain, I said, was not even number one in their group. And Italy's already gone, so that means, and then Croatia's also gone, which means Spain's going to be gone next, and that group is going to be annihilated. So England gets to move on to play France. Before we get onto France and England, let's first get on to Germany and Portugal, who are also playing in the semifinals. Now, I've seen this matchup played up so many times. You think Portugal has it with this young lineup? They're ranked super high. They're 6th in the world. Germany's 16th. But in these last few times I've watched Portugal and Germany play, it's always leaned Germany, and it's not even been that close for the most part. And I don't see that changing just yet. I mean, I think Germany's still going to wake up, and Portugal, they're kind of on the slope downwards. So they meet at that kind of time. I want Germany in this matchup, and I think they're going to win 4-1. Call me a little crazy. Call me a doubter of Portugal if you want. I just think that Germany, I mean, it's favored Germany the last few times. Even last year in the Euros, or sorry, not last year, in 2021, that Euros matchup saw Germany annihilate Portugal as well. So give me Germany again, and they'll go on to the Euros Championship to play the winner between France and England. Now, France and England has had an interesting bout. They almost met in the World Cup Championship in 2018. If England didn't lose to Croatia, it would have been England versus France in the championship, which would have been amazing. Still a good championship, but I think England would have given France a run for their money. And then they played in the World Cup in 2022, which they lost 2-1 to France, though most of it was on penalty kicks, but say what you want. It was really good defense for the most part. And they meet again here in the semis. France is ranked 2nd in the world. England is ranked 4th. So again, France kind of go through some kind of gauntlet. I mean, Turkey was nothing, but Belgium, who's 3rd ranked, and now England, who's 4th ranked. I still have a hard belief that England is still on the rise. And I think eventually England will get the best of France. And I think it's right here that it happens. I know I'm wearing a French jersey. I'm not really a fan of France. I'm just a fan of Kylian Mbappe. But England's front four, they've gotten better throughout the years. And you've been hearing about them more. Jude Bellingham, Rashford, Saka. You've been hearing about them a lot more since that World Cup. So I think England is going to win in penalty shootouts, but they win 4-3 in that shootout, but they tie 2-2 in regular time. So give me England to move on, which then leaves the championship game wide open. Germany and England fight for the Euros in 2024. That is my prediction. Obviously, England is 4th ranked. Germany is 16th ranked. Germany's beaten Italy in my predictions and Portugal, who have been ranked higher, but this is going to be their highest matchup. Germany's on the rise, and England is for sure on the rise. They're meeting again. The last time these two teams met was in the 2021 Euros, in which England won 2-0, and that was one heck of a game. This is coming right out of COVID, and that crowd was loud. It was extremely fun, and I'm looking at pretty fun matchup, but one that does not favor the Germans. I think that England will win 2-0. So this is the 3rd major tournament in the world where I said England will win, and I think finally I'll strike something 1 for 3. Italy got me in 2021 and France got me in 2022, but I think England will persevere and beat Germany in the championship. And that will conclude our Euros. Obviously, I'm not the most knowledgeable Euros player. I know teams. I'm not very familiar with players when it comes to international soccer. But I do really, really like European and South American soccer. So again, we're going to get to Copa next week, but this is my predictions for the Euros. I mean, good luck to every single team because I know how much this kind of tournament means for that continent. So if you're a fan of the Euros, let me know. And let me know what you guys think and who you think is going to persevere. Obviously, I'm not the most knowledgeable UEFA fan in the world, so if you're upset by my prediction, it's okay. There's a good chance I could be wrong because I'm not the most knowledgeable. But I do find this extremely fun to do. Anyways, let's get to the outro. And that'll do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you do, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. I wanted to get this recording done soon because my Dallas Mavericks played Game 2 tonight. Game 1 was just a stress fest and a half. But hopefully we get a better thing in Game 2. I did say that Boston would have won Game 1, so I am kind of right on my prediction there, but I need Dallas to win tonight to stay in the series. So we'll see how the Mavericks do tonight. But again, if you're a fan of the Euros and you're excited for this tournament, it begins June 14th. England versus Scotland is going to be the first matchup. It's at 2 p.m. Central Time here in the US. I don't know where it is for you guys, but be sure to watch these tournaments. They're going to be on Fox. They're going to be on FS1. They're going to be on Fubo TV. So if you guys want to go watch, those are the 3 places you're going to most likely find those matchups. And then next week, we'll talk about Copa America. But until then, I'll see you then. So I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Subscribe if you haven't already. And go follow me on all my social medias. And have a great rest of your day. Peace out.